Welcome to the Dinar Chronicle, your trusted source for breaking updates on global currency developments and unfolding financial events. We begin tonight with what may be one of the most significant monetary announcements of the decade. Reports are emerging out of Baghdad suggesting that the Central Bank of Iraq has initiated a live adjustment to the official exchange rate of the Iraqi Dinar against the US dollar. While details remain fluid, the significance of this move, both for Iraq and for international markets, cannot be overstated. Earlier today, unconfirmed but increasingly credible reports circulated that the central bank convened an emergency session with key officials from the Ministry of Finance. Sources close to the matter claim that this meeting was not only to discuss liquidity conditions but specifically to finalize a long-anticipated revaluation of the dinar. For years, speculation has swirled about the possibility of a so-called RV moment, in which Iraq might dramatically shift the value of its national currency in order to reflect its oil wealth, gold reserves, and evolving economic reform. Tonight, signs are pointing to the very real possibility that such a step is being executed in real time. Markets in the region are already reacting. Banking insiders in Baghdad report that several commercial banks have halted routine transactions as systems are recalibrated. ATM machines in certain provinces have reportedly gone offline temporarily, a move that typically accompanies changes in central bank policy. Meanwhile, local media outlets are beginning to broadcast official language about currency reform, a phrase that in the past has preceded adjustments to the dinar's peg to the dollar. To understand the magnitude of this development, we need to put it into context. Since the early 2000s, the Iraqi dinar has traded at suppressed levels, a reflection of war, sanctions, and economic instability. For years, the official program rate was maintained at levels that grossly underrepresented the underlying assets of the country, particularly its oil reserves, which remain among the largest in the world. Economists have long argued that once Iraq stabilized politically and implemented structural reforms, a revaluation was not only possible but necessary to reintegrate Iraq into the global financial system. If tonight's reports are accurate, this may be the moment when Iraq begins that long-awaited correction. International observers are watching closely. The International Monetary Fund has consistently advised Iraq on improving transparency, restructuring its banking sector, and modernizing its payment systems. Earlier this year, the IMF concluded a review of Iraq's economic performance, citing progress in non-oil revenue collection and improvements in foreign currency auction procedures. Analysts speculated at the time that these reforms were paving the way for greater flexibility in the exchange rate regime. Now, with these breaking developments, it appears Iraq may be taking the decisive step that so many investors and citizens have been anticipating. Global markets have not yet had time to fully digest the implications. The foreign exchange sector, however, is beginning to register unusual movements. Traders report that speculative buying of dinar-denominated instruments has surged in neighboring countries, particularly Jordan and Kuwait, where banks often serve as intermediaries for Iraqi financial flows. At the same time, the dollar has shown signs of mild strengthening, a reaction typical when traders hedge against sudden regional shifts. If this revaluation is confirmed, ripple effects could spread quickly through Middle Eastern markets and beyond. The Iraqi government has been under intense pressure to stabilize its economy amid inflationary pressures and public demands for improved living standards. A stronger dinar would immediately increase the purchasing power of Iraqi citizens, lowering the cost of imported goods and potentially easing the burden of inflation. However, it also carries risks. A rapid appreciation of the currency could challenge export competitiveness and complicate budgetary planning, particularly if oil revenues remain volatile. The delicate balance between domestic economic relief and international competitiveness will be at the heart of Iraq's policy challenge in the weeks to come. As this story develops, it is important to distinguish between speculation and verifiable fact. At this hour, no official government decree has been published publicly confirming the exact rate shift. What we do know is that multiple banks inside Iraq have confirmed technical adjustments underway in their systems. Several credible insiders are reporting that the new rate being tested is significantly stronger than the long-standing peg. In Washington, the U.S. Treasury Department has not yet issued any statement. American officials have historically worked closely with Iraqi counterparts to ensure currency stability and compliance with international anti-money laundering protocols. If Iraq has indeed revalued the dinar, one would expect statements from both the Treasury and the Federal Reserve in the coming hours. Particularly concerning how this impacts dollar transactions routed through the New York Federal Reserve System. The geopolitical implications of this move are also considerable. A stronger dinar could alter the balance of trade between Iraq and its neighbors, particularly Turkey, Iran, and the Gulf states. For years, cross-border transactions have been complicated by currency imbalances. A realigned dinar may improve Iraq's leverage in trade negotiations and investment agreements. Furthermore, international corporations eyeing Iraq's energy and infrastructure sectors could find new opportunities, as a stable and more valuable currency reduces transactional risk. We are also monitoring reports from the Iraqi parliament where lawmakers have been vocal about the need for reform. Just last week, several members criticized the central bank for not moving quickly enough to restore confidence in the dinar. Tonight, those voices may be vindicated. Sources suggest that a formal parliamentary session is being called for tomorrow morning to address the unfolding situation and provide guidance to both citizens and markets. Ordinary Iraqis are anxiously watching this story as it unfolds. For many, the dinar is not just a currency, but a symbol of national identity and pride. The possibility of waking up tomorrow with a stronger currency could radically alter household economics. Retirees living on fixed incomes could see their purchasing power improve overnight. Families paying for imported medicine, food, and consumer goods could find immediate relief. Yet there is also uncertainty, as the government must manage expectations and avoid triggering destabilizing speculation or hoarding behavior in local markets. The international investment community is also reacting. For years, small-scale investors have held dinar in the hope of a dramatic revaluation. Many of these individuals, particularly in the United States and Europe, have long speculated that Iraq would one day restore its currency to pre-2003 levels. While those expectations may be overly ambitious, the current developments give renewed attention to the long-debated RV narrative. Analysts caution, however, that any revaluation is likely to be gradual and controlled, rather than an overnight leap to historic highs.